ये अभी तो बस शुरुआत है। किसी मैगजीन को हाथ में लेने में और उसी मैगजीन के कवर पेज पे होने में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वीआईपी सीट में और उसकी पिछली सीट में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वो जिसका मैदान ही खुला आसमान है, वही कल जमीन पर तो था। पूछोगे तो बताएगा वो पंछी, ये एक दायरे में सिमटने में और पूरी दुनिया को दायरा बनाने में बस इतना सा फर्क है। इतना कितना है? इतना है या इतना है? जो नापेगा वो जाने कि जहां धरती और आसमान मिलते हैं, नानपुर से दूर, अगर मगर शायद से दूर, वहां भी दोनों में फर्क बस इतना सा है। धरती और सातवें आसमान में फर्क बस इतना सा। ये एक अंतर प्रेरणा है। ये हमारी, आपकी, हम सब की अंतर प्रेरणा है। एक कदम, एक छलांग, एक बाजी, एक गहरी सांस और एक ललकार खुली हवाओं में कि हाँ, मैं बना हूं उन फिजाओं के लिए, कि हाँ, मैं बना हूं उन ऊंचाइयों के लिए जो ऊंची तो बहुत है पर नामुमकिन भी नहीं, क्योंकि मुमकिन और नामुमकिन में बस इतना सा फर्क है। धूप छांव में फर्क बस इतना सा। तो बस चलिए फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया के साथ ये फर्क मिटा देते हैं। फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया।
Hi, very good evening, everyone. Good evening to everyone. First of all, I would like to extend my warm welcome to everyone who has spared their valuable time to participate in this special edition of Independent Franchisee Consultant webinar. Franchisee India is a 25-year-old company, and we have been offering this independent franchise consultant opportunity to individuals who are looking for a change in their career. Franchise India is a platform which is the most trusted platform for guiding investors to start their own business. In this webinar, we will cover the journey of Franchise India, franchising as an opportunity, and IFC as an opportunity. This is a very unique opportunity which we will be presenting today, and this is not for everyone. This is for those who are very passionate about franchising, have a keen interest in consultation, and aim to make a difference in others' lives. This role involves handholding investors and guiding them on how to start their own business. To explain more about this, I would invite our Managing Director, Ms. Sonia Chowdhury, Madam, to take this forward. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Shakti. Friends, a very good evening to all of you. Thank you all for joining the webinar. I'll also take a minute to introduce the team who have joined in. So this is a very special webinar, which is Independent Franchise Consultants, where we invite interest for like-minded people who would partner with Franchise India. So on this webinar, we have with us Mr. Gaurav Maurya. He's the chairman of Franchise India Group. And before I request him to take over, I'll quickly introduce you to the teams. We have Swaraj, who is part of our Fran Global team, because the IFC network is beyond India. We are operating in about 11 international markets and 97 cities in India. So all the international markets are taken care by Swaraj. Shakti, you heard him speak. He heads our region in Tamil Nadu and Kerala market, along with Jibin from our market in Kerala. We also have Bimal, who joined us from office in Kolkata. So apart from East, he also takes care of Bangladesh and Nepal markets. And we have Kapil, who's again part of Shakti's team. We have Ravi, who joined us from Hyderabad and takes care of entire AP and Telangana. And we have Ram, who's joined us from the headquarters, and he works directly with me and Gaurav. So anybody who's who's looking for a direct meeting can also reach out to Ram. But before I get started, I'll request Gaurav, if you want to set a perspective. So friends, our entire webinar would be split into following. We'll talk about first and foremost, about Franchise India, who we are, a little bit about our journey. We'll talk about the industry at large, which is franchising industry at large. We'll talk about the value proposition that we offer. We'll talk about the business model that we have to offer. At the same time, I'll also request all of you to make this webinar very, very interactive. And any questions that you have on the opportunity, feel free to write to us. We also would like to ask some questions that we'll keep putting in the Q&A box, and we'll keep asking you, and you can put that in the chat box, and we'll be happy to kind of, read with your names and your city of your interest. So over to you.
Hi, good evening, friends, and welcome to this very special webinar. And as Sonia said, this is very, very special for us because the network of independent franchise consultants, what we build, is not only the largest network of franchise consultants in the world, but I would say the most intelligent minds in the business of franchising. So as Sonia said, we will give you a little overview about franchising, which I'll do, and I'll give you some kind of understanding of how franchising was built and where it is going, especially in the markets of India subcontinent, Gulf countries, even countries around us, which is Bangladesh, Nepal, Sri Lanka, and Sudan. And we're very aggressively looking at having like-minded consultants. When I say aggressive, which means that we are very open to have consultants, but we are in rush, not in rush, which means that we need high-quality people only to join us, which also bring in great amount of capability in terms of their consulting experience or any other experience which complements consulting. So friends, you can also use the Q&A box. There's a Q&A box which you can use for any questions or anything which comes to your mind. You can put it on that. And I see some people writing on the chat. So rather than writing chat, use the Q&A box and we'll be able to answer all your questions. So let's get started. I'll give you a little background about myself first. I started my career way back in 95, started with telecom. I always started as an entrepreneur, never did a job. And my timing was very good because telecom was just happening. It was just starting off, and I had some very successful stint in telecom. And then in 98, I had an opportunity to travel to US, and where I was introduced to this industry called franchising. And it really changed me and my outlook towards businesses, small businesses, how they are structured, how you build an ecosystem around entrepreneurship and so forth. And that made me so confident that I came back to India in 99 and started Franchise India. And Franchise India was a pioneer in business of franchising. And franchising was a very large industry, and I was very little introduced to that at that stage. And when I went into the whole industry, I realized that it's a very, very power engine to spark the whole entrepreneur ecosystem in any country. Look at America. Every third dollar of American economy, which is $28 trillion economy, every third dollar in America is spent on a franchise. Because anything you consume or take, it's actually come from a franchise business. Even in India now, if you see things around you, every day you're consuming so much from different franchise brands. I'll give you some example. And maybe let me start with a question to everyone, and you can use the Q&A box to give that answer on this. So use the Q&A box and give me answer. Which is the world's #1 brand in franchising? You can choose any brand which comes to your mind and give me an answer on the Q&A box. Which is the #1 brand? Avinash is raising hand. Avinash, you can answer on the Q&A box. Just write the name. What is the #1 brand when it comes to franchising? Give me an answer on the Q&A box. Let's see who comes with the answer, or chat box also you can write. Anyone can give an answer. So there are a few people writing. Let me check who's giving the answer. So somebody said McDonald's. Almost every time I've asked the question, people have answered the same order. They do McDonald's, they would do KFC, Starbucks, Pizza Hut, Domino's, and likes of them, right? But answer is no, it's not McDonald's. But while McDonald's is the best form of franchising and very, very popular globally, but the biggest brand in franchising is Coca-Cola. Why I start with this? Because that opens up your mind that how franchising impacts our lives. The biggest chain in India in franchising is a brand called Amul, Mother Dairy, which comes to your home every single day, right? It was a courier company called DTDC. It's a courier company called Blue Dart or a DHL. These are big franchise businesses. Or the schools your kids go. It can be Eurokid, KidZ, DPS. DPS is the largest Indian franchise which has traveled worldwide. 45 countries DPS schools run. It can be a pathology lab called Dr. Lal Path Lab, or a Metropolis, or Apollo. It can be a dental clinic, or it can be another healthcare environment, or a Apollo hospital, which is also a franchise business model. It can be a services which you're taking. It can be maybe a financial services you're taking from a ICICI Direct or a Motilal Oswal. It can be a salon you visit. It can be Javed Habib or a Lakme. All top five companies in salon business, all five are done by us. It can be a gym which you want to go. It can be Anytime or a Gold Gym or a Cult. They're all franchised businesses. It can be a food restaurant, which normally people think and associate with. It can be QSR to a fine dine restaurant, all are franchise. It can be the hotel you visit. It can be Marriott, Sheraton, Taj, ITC. They all franchise business models. So from a courier service which comes to your home to a five-star deluxe opportunity, anything in between, whatever you're consuming is coming from a franchise outlet. It can be a fashion brand which you consume. It can be like we do Tata Chroma, which is a electronic large format stores which come from a Tata group background. So franchising actually hits every single industry. So franchising is a beautiful combination which triggers consumption. It's directly proportional to consumption, and it also brings in a huge amount of brand assurance, right? So that's why the industry of franchising is bound to grow. Why? Because two things are happening in India. One, we are becoming more and more brand conscious. So anything which you want to consume today has to come from a brand. It can be product or a service. Second, people want to be entrepreneur. There's a huge startup interest going on in the market. Now, why this is triggering this? Because when you're looking at startup, and especially market like India or even neighboring countries, most of the people are coming which have never done business in past, which means that there's 60% of all people are first-time business buyers. So they are nervous to start their own business. They prefer franchising. So that way franchising really grows. On the other side, consumer becoming brand conscious, which means that if you see two stores, say, one has Apollo Pharmacy and second is a local pharmacy, where are you most likely to go? You will go to a Apollo Pharmacy. If you are traveling with your kids to another city and you want to stay in a hotel and you have one non-branded local hotel, and then second side you have a Sheraton or Courtyard by Marriott, where are you likely to stay? You'll stay in a branded hotel. It might be even Oyo, a budget hotel where you will go out and do that. Incidentally, all these names I'm taking, Oyo and Nadi, have been our clients. So franchising impacts consumption and triggers entrepreneurship. And that's why we're very, very excited in a market like India, where we have on one side, highest consumption growth, we have the highest GDP growth, and we will continue to go on a hockey stick growth for next 20, 30 years. And second side, our entrepreneurial demand is best in the world, right? So franchising becomes the obvious market of growth. And that's why we want to really expand our network in franchising. Our journey in franchising, I'll let Sonia talk about it. Franchise India, how Franchise India, 27 years. Franchise India has 3 brands. One is Franchise India, which works in India, Fran Global, which works in 12 countries, and FranCop, which is the oldest consulting firm out of US. It started in Chicago, and the oldest consulting firm started in 1976. So friends, I'll pass it on to Sonia to give a little bit journey of Franchise India, and also, what all services we do. And then I'll take over and talk about our program called Independent Franchise Consulting, and why I feel that this program not only is hugely financially rewarding, but the most sustainable opportunity you can get. And we'll talk about also stages of franchising, how you can really grow to the next level and so on and so forth. So over to you, Sonia.
Thanks. So friends, as you have heard, so we in fact are a company who has been democratizing entrepreneurship since the last 27 odd years. And at a time when entrepreneurship, startups, these were just, these were not the vocabulary that we use and are part of mainstream today. So we understand the big demand and supply gap that existed then, and demand which was very big and still is. And as every household in the country, I would say, I'm sure all of you out here are looking for starting your own entrepreneurship journey. So every household in India has somebody, who has an aspiration of starting a business. And there's no surprise that India fondly is called a shopkeeper nation. So franchising has been, for a century, has been a very powerful wealth creation and an entrepreneurial engine. And this engine we want to enforce through IFC program. And this is what the foundation of the program is. And franchising, in fact, is the epitome for small businesses. If you look at US, more than 8 lakh US franchise ownership are by single unit franchisees who own and operate these businesses. So the core driver and the foundation of our business has been entrepreneurship. And today, I'm sure you all would agree, we have more people who are starting their entrepreneurship journey and buying some business than they were maybe 20 years back or 30 years back. And equally on the other side, right? So this is a demand side. More people want to get into entrepreneurship journey, but equally on the supply side, there are more companies which are expanding via franchise route than they were maybe, 2 decades back or 3 decades back. And having said that, this is going to become bigger for the obvious reasons we just talked about, and it is not going to stop because this space is only going to get bigger than what it is. And there are more entrepreneurs today and aspiring to be entrepreneurs than have been in the history of entrepreneurship globally. So I'll give you a little bit, about Franchise India. We started 27 years back, and we created our different group companies so that we could offer the value proposition to the entire community that we service. So today, we are world's largest franchise development and distribution company, present in about 11 international markets and 97 cities in India. And we are a trusted advisor to some of the leading and the most influential, respected business houses, which includes, companies like Reliance, companies like Tata, companies like Adani, a lot of unicorns that we work with, startups that we work with. So that is one community that we serve, where we work with these companies to make them franchise ready and, bring select partners for them where these companies would award their franchisees. And on the other side, we work with a very big community of people who want to invest in businesses. These are investors, franchisees. And these community, both the brand side and the investor side, they in fact, interact with Franchise India through 4 different platforms. And first and foremost, we run a very big media platform, which has nearly, I would say, 200 plus events and exhibitions that we do in India. And of all the exhibitions that we do, the largest world exhibition on franchising is also organized by Franchise India, that we conduct every year in Delhi. We bring in almost 40,000 plus investors. In fact, this time we had 45,000 people who came to the show. And these are people looking to invest in businesses, and about 600 companies who participate, Indian companies, international companies. We also run 3 leading print magazines, of which Entrepreneur is, again, a leading global international magazine, which is amongst the top 3 magazines in the globe. If you've heard names like, McDonald's, Hershey's, we all know these names. All these companies are rated by Entrepreneur in America every year. And that is a magazine that we have the rights for India and Asia Pac. And I will also request if you can also go on the website of Franchise India. So this is primarily a marketplace where nearly, I would say, 17,000 companies who are looking to partner are listed on the website and the platform of Franchise India. We reach out to nearly 10 million investors who are looking to buy a business. So this platform interacts with people who want to buy a business and companies who want to represent that opportunity. And second is a platform which is largely for companies who are looking for expansion, like I said. And this we do through 2 different services or businesses, entities, I would say. One is a consulting arm, which is Francop. Francop, again, is an American firm, which is a 47-year-old company headquartered in America. And again, names like McDonald's is consulted by Francop in America. Hershey's, Hilton Hotel, these are some of the companies which have been consulted by Francop in America. In India, we take pride in consulting more than 20,000 brands ever since we acquired Francop for India about 18 years back. And our role here is to work with companies, make them franchise ready, and launch them in the market. And again, we have worked with some of the most, topmost names, even companies with, penetration in a single city to a pan-India, wanting to go, maybe pan-state. That's what Francop would consult them. And the third part is working with our investment platform, where investors looking to invest in businesses, anything from a 15 lakh spectrum to maybe a 50 to 100 crore spectrum, is where we guide investors, business buyers to, through the entire journey of buying a business. Overall, if I take, transactions that we do annually. This is almost about 1,500 crores of gross transaction value that we raise from the market, through investors who want to invest in businesses, and also for the companies who exclusively give a mandate to Franchise India to select franchisees on their behalf. And finally comes our platform, which is an exit platform, which is a business exit platform where we work with companies to evaluate. Somebody wants to sell their business, we would do the evaluation, and we find them a new buyer in the business, which can be strategic buyer, which can also be a financial buyer. This we do again from small to mid-size businesses. So not only that we created this ecosystem and community, but we also felt this opportunity was big enough to expand, and we felt we needed to expand this ecosystem through partnerships in form of IFC channel. So every day we bring in new opportunities which come into franchising. So the need was obviously to not only be bigger, but also have a deeper reach and connect with this community through our IFC programs. So friends, this is what I had to share on our company at large. Now I'll let Gaurav talk about what our model of IFC is and how you can partner and qualify to become a partner with us. And before we do that, we always ask you some questions so that we understand the profile, the cities that you come from. Some of you already mentioned your cities, and a larger part of our network, in India, they are mostly professionals, management consultants who come with the experience of anything between 15 to 20 plus years. So we'll be happy to know what occupies you and what kind of business profession you are. So let Gaurav lead that piece and keep interacting, friends.
Thank you. And so friends, we'll start with one question, which I would like to ask all of you, and all of you should answer. Why? Because it will give us a little introduction about you. As I said in the start of the webinar, this is by invitation opportunity, which means that we are inviting some people who have the right kind of a profile, experience, they have some kind of strategic fitment, and they want to become a franchise consultant. So for us, it's very important that we understand your profile, we understand the city you are coming from, and then only we can decide that you can become partner with us. So I'll give you 4 options. Please tell me what is your profile. So if you're a professional, write P and your city, and you can write your experience also. P for professionals, B for business owners. If you're a business owner or you run your own company or your own business, write just B, and you can write your city. And if you want to share your business also. Sometimes some businesses are very strategic for us and some don't fit in, right? Then if you are a management consultant already, which means that some form of consulting, learning and development background, business coaching background, or any other consulting background you have, write C. And if last year, write MC, which means management consultant. And if you are looking for a career change, which means that now you're looking for a new career, then write just C. So 4 choices. Again, I'll repeat. P for professionals, B for business owners, MC for management consultants, and C for career change, which means that now you're looking for a new career. Use the Q&A box and give me answer on that. So there is Sandeep, who is from real estate. So he's from real estate. Real estate is very strategic for us because real estate, every business needs real estate. So it becomes very strategic. Then we have Nasir Khan, who's in supply chain and logistics in Delhi. So he's obviously either working. And then they have Manish, which is very unique. First time somebody's seen who's written all 3. He's a professional, he's a management consultant, and he's also looking for a career change. So you're middle of this. Then we have Mr. Jai Singh, who's from, I understand that he might be from Sri Lanka, and he's a management consultant, very, very keen on Sri Lanka because I know the market would go very, very differently in times to come. And I know the new infra being committed. And as this economy and political stability coming to this country, I think Sri Lanka will see a huge influx of global brands entering, brands locally becoming bigger, and a lot of people will start their entrepreneurial journey. Rather, we're hosting a big show in Sri Lanka in December. We don't want to do it because now the election would start. And I want to give 2 months after election, and then we will do a big show in Sri Lanka. So, Mr. Jaisinghe, we would like to have a joint discussion with you and see if there is a synergy for you to work. And you're already a management consultant. We got so many applications from Sri Lanka, but every time I spoke, they were more professional or businesses which we didn't want to fit in. I want to work, especially in international market, more with people who have some consulting experience. because then only it works. Then we have Pratyush, who's from Odisha, and he's a professional, and he's also now looking for a change. And then we have Sandeep, who's 33 years experience. So actually, this is very unique with us. We have average experience in our IFC network is 2 decades. So average person is about 20 years experience. And a lot of them have been professionals who left the job and became a consultant. Then we have Vikas, who's looking for a change. Then we have Amit Shah, which is a very popular name now. So Amit Bhai is from a real estate owner. If you can tell where are you based, it'll be helpful. Then we have Viresh, who's a BPO owner. I don't know, Viresh, how much time you will have because you're already running a BPO. And then we have Kamal from Chennai. Kamal, you can talk to Saktivel and discuss. We have a large team in Chennai, great market for us. And I'm also going to be in Chennai very soon. Then we have Taru Bhatnagar, again a C. Taru, if you can share your experience. Then we have Ashok from Bangalore, again a 33 years experience. Ashok, I'm in Bangalore in coming week. If I like your profile, I'd love to meet you. Then we have Viresh from Karnataka. Then we have Suchitra, who's a C. Suchitra, if you can share your experience. Then we have Ajilesh from Sri Lanka, again a business owner. Good to know, a lot of interest from there. Then Manoj from logistics. And then we have Sai Kiran, who's a professional from Hyderabad. And so Hyderabad, we have Ravi, and he can be in touch with you. And then we have Mr. Ravi Kumar from Agra. Again, a market very close to Delhi. Interesting market. The whole region is very interesting, very entrepreneurial. And because we don't create jobs in these cities, so people are looking for doing. And then we have a very interesting profile from Egypt. Again, one market I want to really build because Egypt is like India. It's like large population, a lot of non-resident money coming back. People are much aware because the Egyptians travel globally. They're aware about brands, but very little brand penetration. Rather, at one time I did a project for bringing Asian brands to Egypt because they were looking at value-centric brands, which can be larger consumption can follow. And again, very good market, tremendous market for us to really do that. We'd like to take Fran Global Egypt. Fran Global Friends is now in Australia. We are in Singapore, Malaysia, Bangladesh, Nepal. We are in Thailand. We are in Saudi Arabia, Dubai, UK, France, Latin America. We are in Brazil, and we also in North America through FrankCorp. So I'll certainly like to do northern part of Africa, which is Egypt and some other countries, because these markets are very strong overlap, and it's both sides. A lot of Egyptian brands are now going within the region and even GCC and vice versa. A lot of brands are actually entering Egypt. So it's a very interesting market. Let's set Dr. Hamid on discussion and see how we can work together. Then we have Lohita, who's part of it. Then we have Suchitra, who's a real estate in Mumbai, 6th time in Mumbai, so we can set up a meeting. And then we have Taru, who's experience in garments overseas. And then we have Dashna. Again, Dashna looks like he's from Sri Lanka and experience as a consultant of lean management. So very strong profile, because if you've done consulting, you understand what we're talking about. Also to tell you, we represent over 175 global brands, and we also own about 50 master franchisees for the region, which means I am master franchise for 50 brands, which are global brands. I'll give you some examples. And all these brands, we also represent for Sri Lanka, Egypt, places like that. Like Egypt, I have a brand called Action Coach. Action Coach runs in 90 countries, the world's biggest business coaching company. So I own 40 countries from this brand. We also work with Brand Tracy. Brand Tracy is the #1 trainer in the world. So we represent that. Now coming to some other opportunities, we run Easy Gym. Easy Gym is a part of EasyJet. It's the biggest gym company out of Europe. So we are a master franchise for that. We have a lot of other brands which are global in nature. We have school from Singapore. We have an English learning company from London, 120-year-old English learning company, which would be great fit for Egypt, great fit for Sri Lanka. So we know these markets very well. We've taken so many brands to these markets, but we today have so many brands. So the day you start in your country, you start representing all these brands exclusively. So nobody would be there outside you on these brands. So that's why we're very excited to build this. Then we have somebody who wants to do Tanzania. Somehow we're getting a lot of inquiries from Tanzania because a lot of people want distribution-based businesses from there. So they want aftermarket auto businesses. They want a lot of other businesses, and we do that also. So we do a lot of distribution partnerships with tire companies, with auto spare parts companies, with a lot of FMCG companies. So that also is part of our portfolio. Thank you very much. It was indeed very excited to see a lot of profiles which have joined in, and good to connect with all of you. And some of you, I will certainly like to have a further discussion on this. So friends, our next 10 minutes, or I would say 15 minutes, I'm going to talk about 7 things. And these 7 things we'll talk about around the business model of IFC Network. And so let's start with the first. What is a business model? As Sonia said, our business model is very simple. We are a platform which does 3 things. First, we help people to invest into active businesses, right? So there are a lot of passive investment consultants, so people want you to invest into real estate, they want to invest into stock market, they want to invest in insurance, in mutual fund, or any other asset class, which is passive in nature. But there is no global consulting firm which helps you to invest into an active business. Now you have 2 choices to invest into active business. One, you can start a new business, or second, you can buy an existing business, and we do both. Right? So when you come to us or any of our offices across globe, we help you to choose an active business. And this is very complex because selecting active business means it has much higher risk than passive investment. When you're investing into a Microsoft stock, it's backed by a lot of performance, a lot of things you can read. But when you're buying, say, a coffee shop, or buying a gym, or starting a preschool, or starting a small retail outlet, you carry a lot of risk. How would it work? Which location it work, and so on and so forth. Right? So you need to really find out what is the right opportunity, how I should secure that opportunity, which location I select, what kind of contractual and commercial terms I need to do, and then take a decision to buy the business. We are very proud, the world's #1 business sale company. We have sold more businesses than anybody else in the world. Right? So this is first part of the business. And ask yourself how exciting it is that every home has somebody who was looking to start a business, but there is no consulting firm which can give that. And it is not easy also. A lot of you are management consultant already. Now you see this webinar, you get very excited, and then you say, oh, let me start by my own name. I can set up something in my own name and want to run a franchise consulting. You will fail. Why? Because you don't have no assets to produce. But when you start with Fran Global or Franchise India, you start with 500 opportunities day one, which you are exclusively representing. This portfolio to create takes us, we have taken 27 years to build that portfolio. So today, if anybody walks with $5,000 to say $5 million or $50 million, we have an opportunity to present it. Right? So that's the advantage of our business models structure. So that's the first part. The second part is helping businesses scale through franchise. Right? So, like for example, our friends from Sri Lanka, we did one time a brand called Ministry of Crab. It was a successful. Darshan was a chef in Colombo, built a successful brand, and he wanted to grow. Now he has a partnership with an Indian large company, and he wanted to grow. How can you take one Sri Lankan brand and take it to the world? Now we are doing something similar in another seafood company, because one of the finest seafood come from Sri Lanka. And same thing we're doing with a lot of other brands out of different markets. So how do you really make businesses which are successful in a particular market and scale those businesses through franchising? The good news is that we have done over 20,000 brands which were small at one point in time or early stage at one point in time, even they are part of a larger company, and help them scale through franchising. That's the second part. Very, very powerful. And I love that because I feel this gives me great satisfaction to meet a lot of entrepreneurs, business founders, and understand their business model. And if I find a spark in them, we'll help them to scale their business to the next level. The third is a lot of businesses, when they come to us, for different reasons, they want to exit. Say you're working out of Colombo, or you're working out of Cairo, which is in Egypt, or in India, in any part of the city. You are surrounded by so many small and medium-sized businesses. And for reasons, they don't have children looking after the business, they have some other issue going on, they have lack of capital, lack of interest, partner split, removement. You want to shift from any person wants to go to migrate to Canada and wants to sell a business for different reasons. When you want to sell a business, again, you don't have anybody. So you need a specialist. We call the exit planning specialist, who would come to you, understand your business, create a valuation, and put it on the block. Why all these three are so synergetic? Because we as a platform has the highest investor base. And my testimonial is that all of you are sitting on this webinar and spending 1 hour because our marketing works. Right? Because of our marketing works, you all sitting there. Every week, hundreds of people join this webinar. And overall, we do in a month about 200 webinars where almost about 50,000 people join because our marketing works. And we not only do digital webinars, we do physical 20 shows every single month. We also do a lot of global shows. We do Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Bangladesh, Nepal. We're doing a show in Oman. We're doing a show in Kenya. These are all franchise shows in different parts of the world. And then we do pavilions. We do pavilion in Malaysia, Singapore, Russia, and many, many other countries, large pavilions. So these are three parts of our business model, and it's so compelling that you have relatively no competition in all these three things. When you go as a specialist on franchising, help people to invest in a business, help companies' businesses scale, and help people to exit, there is nobody who's doing that. Now, this business model in all the markets which you all join in are the highest growth markets, because both, again, coming back to the entrepreneurial demand is growing and people are much more aware about brands. Now, the second point is the financial model, how attractive it is financially. Because this business model is not commoditized, a business consulting structure, you have a huge payouts from both brands and the investors, right? So if you did a debt transaction, which means that you were a loan advisor and you did a loan and a transaction worth, say, 300,000 or 400,000 US dollars, your fee would be less than $1,000. But if I did the same deal in active business, my fee would be $10,000. Our single franchise I sold, and the deal worth was 200 or 300,000 US dollars. We make $10,000 because it's top-notch consulting, and people don't mind paying it because they see value. So we are a very high margin business model. And that's why our IFC partners, our independent franchise consultants, make loads and loads of money because it's a high margin business. Even if you're able to secure 24 transactions in a year, you are enjoying this business because you were rewarded financially, and also you build a great reputation for yourself. And we are paid from both sides, brand and the investors. Another thing which I should highlight, both sides we provide you, which means that we give you the brands and we give you qualified leads also. So you don't have to do any cold calling to find where it needs to be done. Both sides, we give it to you. Say somebody starts in Egypt, we will hand over, say, 25 brands, global brands, which fit Egypt, which you will start representing from the day one before you even bring Egyptian brands on board. And we will give you people who are interested in taking these brands. And every single lead is generated for a specific brand so that you know who's applying, what is his profile, and which brand they're interested on. So all the work is done. Now, as a consultant, you need to bring them together. You need to set expectation and work on the deal structuring. So that's the business model and the financial model. Let's go to third thing. Why independent franchise consultant? So look, Franchise India, Fran Global, and FranCorp collectively is 1,200 people company, 1,200 full-time employees, top class teams working for us. But I started realizing that we need to, if we want to expand and go to different markets, we need to have like-minded partners. for three reasons. First reason is experience. I saw a lot of people with 33 years experience, and they would bring so much of wisdom, so much of understanding, so much of knowledge about their local market, which you cannot just get it. Right? I might have gone to a particular country, like Sri Lanka. I've gone maybe 50 times, right? And last year we took about 75 people from our team to Sri Lanka. But I will never know so much which a local person would know. So you bring in experience, which is about local knowledge, your experience of markets, and your commitment to commit to that business. Second, which is more important, is your integrity and reputation. Because then people are dealing with somebody they know, they can relate to, and because you're local, you bring in a huge amount of integrity to that entire thing. And third, which I'm biggest fan of, is consistency. If I talk to you as a consultant, I'll never forget you. So 5 years later, I'm now really interested. I pick up the call the same person and say, look, we talked about that time I was not sure, but now I want to do it. So it brings in a huge amount of consistency. And that's why I thought we need to have independent franchise consultants who would bring a huge amount of knowledge, they bring their integrity, and they bring in a great amount of consistency, which sometimes becomes difficult with direct teams. So that's why we started this IFC program. How do you qualify to become an IFC program? To become a consultant? Look, there are many criteria which fit into somebody being an ideal consultant. But I realized three very important things. First is your involvement. I call the three ROIs in life, right? Three return on, we call it normally investment, but I call two other ROIs. There are three ROIs in every business. The first is return on investment, which everybody talks about, which to me is very common. If all of us standing in this panel puts the same amount of money, likelihood we're all going to get a similar kind of return, maybe a little bit here and there, depending on the hard work we do, the location we select, and our understanding of that business, right? So because in return on investment sweat out and get you return, right? So if you are a trading company and you are a distributor for a brand and you buy a certain product, trade that product and make margin on that. That's very clear, dumb investment business, which we call return on investment business. The other two ROIs, which I'm a big fan of. First one out of the two is return on intelligence. What you bring, which others don't have. I like that business. If say you are a stock market advisor, you are somebody who's a topmost consultant, or you are a knowledge piece, then you bring in much more than just capital, right? And the third ROI is return on involvement, right? I work 365 days, and I tell everybody that nobody gets more work than in my environment, my ecosystem, than I personally do. So that way, I obviously get more share, more man hours, and hence my contribution would be higher than anybody else. So if you feel that you have these other two ROI, return on intelligence and return on involvement, then you can qualify. That's first criteria. The second criteria is that you are committed to learning. A lot of learning. Learning not only just about businesses around you, businesses which you're going to manage, but also about cultures, preferences, consumption cycles, economy, everything which matters to environments around it. You are committed to learning. So that's number two. Number three, you are a super networker. Right? You find an opportunity to network with people. And I can tell you, your business is such like that. Like, for example, if anybody asks me, what do you do? I say, I am help people to start a business. I'm a starter your own business specialist. If I would have met you in a flight, and I said, I help you with starting a business, would you forget me? You never forget me. You got so many people around you who want money from you for something they want to sell you, but somebody who can build your career, get you become an entrepreneur, where have you got that person, right? So you become a start your own business specialist, right? So you're a networker. You need to tell people, more and more people, that you are the person you need to go to guy when you're looking to start a business, right? People never forget you. They would never, ever forget you, even if they don't have anyone. I one time was traveling and I somebody next sat to me, and he was a home minister of a state, and a very political senior guy, never did business, a statesman, and we talked with each other. And then he said, why don't you come down to my, he had a government rest house, and he called me there. So I went there, and he says, explain me now, what kind of businesses you do? What can you bring to my state? What can you do this entire thing? So I had a chat with him. That was a day, I think it was 10, 12 years back. Now he meets anyone who is in business. He gives my phone number. He says, go to this person, he can help you. Now, that's the relationship you build, right? That's a relationship. Somebody is in his family wanted to start something. He says, go to this man, go to Delhi and meet this person. He might be able to help you out. That's how you build relationship, right? So you have to be a great networker if you want to be doing that. So if you feel that you have all three, then you can qualify to become a great independent franchise consultant. Now let's go to sport. What kind of sport we provide you? We call the MOST, M-O-S-T. M stands for mentoring. We will mentor you to work with you, to give you all the guidance. O stands for opportunities. We give you all the opportunities which you would go and represent. S stands for sport. Every single call in the first 3-6 months, we are coming on a call. We are generating the proposal. We are debating the entire thing. We are helping you negotiate the contracts. All that pieces, we will do that for you. And then T stands for training. Training is a very, very critical component in our group. So we have a full 3-day training, and we do training on many aspects of understanding the investor, how to help companies to grow the business through franchising, how franchising works, how do you create modules for franchising, how do you make companies franchise ready, how do you really do deal structuring, how to negotiate a right deal, how you do the valuation of businesses, and even the last and not least, how to build yourself as a brand. Because tomorrow you want to be a brand and using the platform. People would know you, that you are the one who can help them in terms of doing it. So that all training we need to do. Then the last is, what is a go-to-market? What is the next steps? So we will have one more presentation. I think, Sakti, you're running that presentation. So Sakti will lead one small presentation where we'll show you how the program really works. But if you get interested after this presentation also, then reach out to our colleagues, talk to them, understand if you have questions, they will be happy to answer. And they will also understand your profile, and then organize a meeting, joint meeting with Sonia and me. And then we'll evaluate, we'll understand, is it right fitment for all of us? And if that fitment is there, we will take our discussions and become partners for life. But don't rush it. Ask yourself difficult questions. Is it your life journey? This is what you want to do. Are you cut out to be somebody who's going to go and build entrepreneurs? Do you love helping others? All that pieces are very, very important before you take a decision to start becoming an independent franchise consultant. So friends, thank you very much. Thanks for your time, and really appreciate you taking time out. I'll take a leave from this webinar, and Sakti Vail, who's the head of South India, would take the discussion ahead. And please reach out to us if you have more questions or anything you want to ask from. And I see some other people, so I just welcome them. There is somebody who's saying, Amir, he's from Delhi, and he's in sales companies. So he's doing a business in partnership. Okay, great. And thank you, Sandeep. So thank you very much. Thanks for your time. And sorry, I have a bad throat. So thank you very much for your time. And over to you, Shakti, for taking the discussion.
Thank you, sir. Friends, as discussed, franchising is a 4.8 trillion industry, and it is growing due to increased consumption. And this growth is directly linked with the expanding range of products and services we consume. Many of the companies are directly getting into franchising in different sectors. This is the franchising by sector. So we've got healthcare, where this sector includes various subcategories and a significant part of franchising industry. We've got financial services. This sector also relies heavily on franchising, with many companies offering franchisee opportunities. We've got pet care services, which is a very new market which has come into franchising. with many business expanding through franchising due to high consumer demand. We've got expansion models where expanding the business franchisee is often more on viable services and opening company-owned outlet. It leverages on the knowledge, reduced financial risk, and creates employment opportunities. For instance, franchisee allows and cost-effective expansion across multiple locations. Among these services, we have got the highest of QSR, which is about 20.8% on franchising. In terms of understanding the roles, what would be the services which will be given by Franchise India? I would like to talk about tablet, which T stands for the technical support. Once you onboard with Franchise India, we will provide you we will give you the technical support. We will create a CRM for you with all the database with the available in the CRM. You will be able to send mails from Franchise India mail IDs to the investors and the prospects. A stands for access to all the offices in the cities we have with Franchise India. We currently hold about 96 cities. We operate from in India and we operate in about 11 countries abroad. B stands for brand. Currently, we work with about 800 brands effectively, which is expanding both in domestic and international markets. Once you onboard with us, we will create a brand portfolio for you and train you before you start meeting the investors and the brand directly. L stands for the lead generation, and complete lead generation, marketing, and investor identification is done by Franchise India. Through our lead generation, we provide a minimum of 50 verified leads to different brands in your portfolio. E stands for event. We are an event company. On an average, we do about 20 to 22 events every month, which is free for all the IFC partners. We invite the brands for these events, and in these selected venues of the meeting, the lead generation branding is all done by Franchise India. Your work is to handle the investors coming to the event and give them the right consultation to choose from the brands. T stands for training. A 3-day extensive training happens in our corporate office, which happens in Delhi. Your stay, pickup, and drop is on the company. You need to come to Delhi for the training, which will be on the first week of every month. Talking about the structure of IFC partner, where an IFC partner initially will start with a basic IFC partner where they will move into Elite and then to Pro and then to Master. On the IFC partner, we move to a generation from IFC to RFC LI. It is about a 15 lakh revenue which needs to be delivered. And this is being delivered by MOST system. This MOST system is called M for monitoring, where a guidelines with joint calls and meetings. There is cluster managers, there is company, everybody would support an IFC partner to get his meetings done with monitoring them. Then O is for opportunity, where on different business opportunities available on different models is being done. Then the support function is an assistant and regional head will be on the calls. On an IFC partner moving from Elite to Pro, they will have to do a revenue of 50 lakhs, which will be within an year or 30 deals. Whichever happens earlier, you will be moving in from IFC Elite to IFC Pro. And eventually, when we deliver an 1 crore revenue, we will be moving in from IFC Pro to IFC Master. So this is the journey of how an IFC partner who is joined in. Initially, from IFC partner will move to IFC Elite, then to Pro and Master. This is on the revenue which is being generated. And on this revenue, what is the payout structure is what I'll be explaining next. For an IFC partner to start with, it will be 40%. Then IFC Elite is about 50. Then Pro is 60 and Master is 70. This is the payout structure for different categories, where on the revenue brought in, this pay percentage is being given. All four categories, the business development percentage is 20%. In terms of lead, these 50 leads is given to our basic level. 50 leads plus 25% extra to Elite and 50% extra to Pro. And 100%, which is almost twice the leads, is given to the IFC Master. The same goes to the CRM IDs, which is being shared. In this, the support function is going to remain the same. As an IA, we start at about 25,000, which is the registration. From this, 40% is the success fees. Then we have got BS, which is a business success fees. On any brand which is being onboarded, there's a 25%. Assuming the brand onboarding, we have got 4 categories, which starts from 7.5 lakhs. 25, 40, and 60 lakhs. This depends on how the brand wants to expand on different markets. What is the kind of total investment what they expect, and what are the markets they are wanting to get into. Understanding that, we would look at which category we are placing them. Depending on that, assuming it is a 7.5 lakhs is a sign up fees. In that 7.5 lakhs, a BD success fees of 20% is given. Then in terms of a deal which happens to the same brand, 40% success fees is given for a starting model. Once you climb up the ladder, the highest is about 70% in terms of a deal, and it continues to be 20% in terms of an success fees in terms of BD. Then for this, the eligibility norms, as we were looking at about, is a support function which is being given to the partner. There is a small fees of what 5.5 lakhs. This is a one-time payment which is being done on this application form. Once it is being done, the qualified partners will be supported with the meetings where we will do an one-on-one meetings with the cluster manager, post which there'll be a 10 minutes discussion with our chairman, and then we will take it forward. Thank you all for joining. Thank you.